Welcome back to Keep Up channel. French police/migrant boat and drag passengers back to shore just as they attempt to cross the channel for Britain. Downing Street has hailed the toughening of tactics by French police in the war on small boats as footage emerged of officers slashing a dinghy packed with migrants and dragging the deflated vessel back to dry land. The Prime Minister's spokesperson has described the new approach as significant as footage showed gendarmes taking a knife to the boat, which was teeming with people in life jackets hoping to make it to Britain. Dramatic footage aired by the BBC shows the officers taking off their utility belts before dashing into the water armed with knives in what looks to be a preview of the new approach being unveiled at a France-UK summit on tackling the issue next week. A single jab with a blade is all it takes to puncture the boat, which begins rapidly collapsing into the water as the would-be migrants cry out in anger, having just boarded the vessel seconds before. Furious screams can be heard as they scurry to get back to the beach, while children can be seen crying. All the migrants on board managed to make their way safely back to shore. It's a dramatic new tactic by French police, who have previously said French law prevents them from interfering with boats more than 10 feet from the coast. The rule is in the process of being scrapped, with France and Britain, but some police appear to be acting early, prompting anger from refugee charities. Number 10 hailed the actions of French cops on Friday as a significant moment that could have a major impact on smuggling gangs. Downing Street said the change in stance from French law enforcement was thanks to the Prime Minister's reset in relations with Europe, as he has looked to heal the wounds caused by the Brexit years. The spokesman said, "No government has been able to get this level of cooperation with the French. That is important. We are looking to see France change its maritime tactics, and that is down to the Prime Minister's efforts to reset our relationship across Europe." Home Secretary Yvette Cooper said it was a different and welcome strategy that was part of wider plans for French police to start intercepting migrants in shallow waters, stopping them from ever setting off for Britain. The scenes on the French coast this morning demonstrate the huge challenge authorities face in trying to stop people smugglers from sending migrants to the UK. But they have angered a charity supporting migrant children and their families in northern France, which has accused police of putting children at unnecessary risk and breaking the law. Kate O'Neill, advocacy coordinator at Project Play, told the PA news agency, "This is not a new tactic, it's something that has been happening for a long time in Calais and surrounding areas." She also warned it was a dangerous tactic as children were often in the middle of the boats. Ms. O'Neill added, "The events taking place in the BBC coverage are not only upsetting to watch, but show clear evidence of police officers endangering a child." She added, "While talks are ongoing to allow the interception of boats in shallow water, it remains illegal at this time under maritime law and violates the obligations of the UK and France under international law, including the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child." This footage highlights the danger involved in intercepting and slashing boats in the water, and we implore decision-makers to consider the potentially fatal consequences of allowing this to take place even more frequently. It is not the first time, however, that French police have deflated migrant boats. Last month, cops were seen single-handedly foiling an attempt by migrants to cross the channel in a dinghy by stabbing it with a knife. Video footage showed how a group of refugees and migrants aboard the boat were attempting to follow a short stream leading to the sea just meters away, as French police watched them. One officer was then seen holding a sharp implement, believed to be a knife, and stabbing the sides of the boat to make it unusable. Images later showed the crumpled boat completely deflated with life jackets scattered around, as those on the boat left the scene and returned to a camp where they had been staying. It comes as France and Britain hope to unveil measures at their summit next week that will reportedly allow French police to intercept such taxi boats, a new phenomenon, up to 300 meters from shore. Police, activists, and migrants interviewed by Reuters were skeptical such a plan would work. "I just don't see how this could ever be implemented," said Julien Soir, a police union representative in the northern city of Lille. "Getting it up and running is simply impossible." He said police were already stretched covering 112 miles of coastline and lack the equipment and training needed for seaborne operations. Police also fear drowning if they fall in the water with heavy equipment, or personal legal liability if migrants die or are injured during an intervention. Angeli Vettorello, a coordinator at the Utopia 56 charity in Calais, said numbers were rising despite more French police patrolling beaches, including with British-sponsored drones. She said the proposed measures would only make a dangerous crossing. Last year 73 migrants died navigating what is one of the world's busiest shipping lanes, more perilous. If implemented, it would lead to even more deaths, more distress, she said. Asked if France would go ahead with the plan, an aide to President Emmanuel Macron told reporters announcements would be saved for the summit on Thursday, adding that both countries were working to intensify efforts to prevent crossings and break the traffickers' lucrative economic model. The influx of migrants has helped Nigel Farage's Reform UK overtake Starmer's Labour Party in polls. Farage has proposed using the Navy to intercept migrant vessels and take them back to France. Lawyers say this could only be done if France agreed. In its manifesto last year, Labour promised to smash the gangs smuggling people across the Channel in small boats. But over 20,000 asylum seekers have arrived in Britain via small boats so far this year, a 50% increase compared to the same period in 2024. French and British authorities blame the spike on unusually good weather. Peter Walsh, from Oxford University's Migration Observatory, said maritime interception may stop more migrants but would not affect long-term trends behind the migrant surge, including multiple conflicts and the allure of English-speaking Britain. Britain also wants to negotiate a returns agreement with France, which it had before it left the European Union. At a filthy migrant camp near Dunkirk, Reuters spoke with several migrants who were unaware of the new proposal. They said it wouldn't stop them from trying to cross. Israel Lodin, 26, left Afghanistan in 2021 after his family's work with the U.S. Army irked the Taliban. He had failed to cross 3 times, twice he was stopped by police and once his boat had problems. Lodin dreamed of working in a UK fulfillment warehouse. Nothing would stop him from getting there. "We are not afraid to die," he said. "I have to reach my destination." Nisar Mad Afghan, 23, had been a migrant almost all his adult life, having left his home region of Nangarhar 4 years ago. He had made 2 failed attempts to cross, both foiled by police. "Until I succeed, I will keep trying," he said. "I passed through many dangerous roads. I will pass this one too." Source: dailymail.co.uk. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.